Hi there, my name is John Stevens, pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA. And welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree. This is for the Revised Common Lectionary for the second Sunday after Pentecost, May 29th. And we're looking at the Gospel lesson, which is out of Luke, the seventh chapter, Luke, the seventh chapter, yeah, and it's a healing story where Jesus shows up, and there's a centurion who comes in and says, "Hey, my slave is near death, and can you heal them?" And it has this sense where Jesus uses the language. It's pretty interesting. Where here he says, where is it? He goes, I tell you, not even in Israel have I found such faith. Sorry, I had to find that there. It's interesting, that phrase, not even in Israel have I found such faith. And took me, this is not an easy text for a children's sermon. It's like, interesting. So, couple of ideas I'm playing with this one. It's a springboard kind of children's sermon, maybe get you thinking in your own direction, and maybe it'll be useful. I hope it will. The idea, one of the ideas, and I keep coming back to this one, the idea is actually using a bouncy ball. Okay, using a bouncy ball, and you've got the bouncy ball that you can bounce, and I want, if you have a kid that's left-handed, and if you have a kid that's right-handed, and you've got the floor that you can just drop it and bounce it on there, and these are balls that bounce decently, but you don't have to you make it bounce high. You can just drop it and it bounces a couple times, and have the kid that's right-handed take the ball, drop it, and it bounces. To have the kid with the left hand pick it up, drop it, and it bounces again. You could have someone pick it up in between their two arms like this, pick it up and drop it, and it bounces. And the idea, where I'm going with this, is that the ball bounces, and because the ball bounces, and there's a sense where the centurion, who is not Jewish, the centurion should be outside the promise. Jesus says, "Your faith is wonderful," and the sense it gets tied back to the sense where that Jesus is Jesus, and Jesus is good news for everyone. Good news for me, news for the right-handed person, good news for the left-handed person, good news for the Jesus is good news across the board. That that just as you can bounce that ball and you can bounce the ball, God loves you, and God loves you, and faith in God and faith in Jesus isn't there aren't lines drawn of who can have faith and who cannot, who will God listen to and who will God will not. God loves everyone, and that Jesus, the good news of Jesus, is for everyone to hear. So that's the direction I'm going. This idea that it doesn't matter if he's a centurion, if he's a Gentile, and which is radical news at this time, that Jesus is gonna love them. I might play around with the fact that, me being a middle child and my younger brother, and my older brother, that my parents loved all three of us the same, even though I am the one that they really love the most, which isn't true. But, this idea that God loves us all and Jesus is good news for all. So, it's the direction I'm going. I hope you can use it. I hope it gets you thinking about how you might want to go in your own children's sermon, and always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a blessed week.